guys, we're going to start off with 4 ounces of babasu, 4 ounces of mango butter, and a 4th tablespoon of turmeric, and 4 ounces of sweet almond oil. Super easy. First, we're going to go ahead and get started and grab our handy dandy scale. And before we really get started, yes, that's a grandma dress that keeps my bills paid. Okay, so mind your business. We're going to go ahead and get started with our babasu oil. Babasu can be subbed out for coconut oil, but I chose to use babasu because I use my coconut oil predominantly for soaping, and I don't use babasu as much. I have a couple of recipes that require it, but not too many. Oh, got a little too much, so we got to try to get it exact. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I feel for the moment. If it gets really fickle where I'm doing this a lot, then I just say forget it, okay? Really. But I think I'm probably going to nail it right at 4. Yep, I did. Okay, so then next we're going to do my handy dandy freaking favorite, the butters, because everyone loves carving out their butters out the box, right? So we're going to get started. Now, this butter can be stuffed for any butter you like. But let me tell you a tip about the butters. If you want your extract butter to be stiffer, use kokum butter. That's probably the hardest one there is. So I say this is a good thing to start with and figure out the texture. Also, melting point. This has a very low melting point. The turmeric butter that I make literally has a low melting point, which is why I won't ship it out. So you could probably make it a little bit more sustainable with some kokum butter, but it's really about what you're using it in. This is not a butter I use to rub on skin. It's a butter I use as an additive to my scrubs. So, but you do what you do. All right, we're getting there 4 ounces of sweet almond oil. I'm definitely an over pourer sometimes. Nothing I can do about it. So it is what it is. But it's supposed to be 4 ounces, y'all. It's supposed to be 4 ounces exact. There go that OCD kicking in. For those of you who have seen me make products before, y'all know I got an issue with spills and stuff. I've been getting better if you've watched my lives lately of letting stuff sit sometimes. All right, look at that. Melted it all down because you got to do that. Got to melt it all down, right? Now I got to grab my 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. I think I'm probably switching out, putting on gloves. That's what it looks like I'm doing in my grandma dress, okay? Yeah, I don't realize a lot of times I'm doing this, I am literally in my pajamas a lot of the times. So I must have a smaller teaspoon than what is required. So that's why I had to do 2. But it's supposed to be 1/4 teaspoons, y'all. So go ahead and get y'all life together and pour it in. Oh, there was an ingredient in the beginning I did not show you, which was turmeric oil. Turmeric oil is what I use, right? I just do a dropper. It doesn't register on any scale, the weight. I just do a full dropper of turmeric oil, and you're going to see me in a second show it, and then put the dropper in. Now, while we're doing this, I should tell you another way of doing this right here is to take the sweet almond oil, there go my turmeric oil. Take the sweet almond oil, pour 8 ounces into a jar, put turmeric into a cheesecloth or a tea bag, put it in a jar for 6 weeks, and let that turmeric really sit in the sweet almond oil. That's another way to do it. I've done it both ways before. It comes out exactly the same. All right, put that dropper of turmeric oil in there. Dun, dun, dun. Great. Now, after this settles, I am going to put it in the freezer, but I don't have a lid for it, so I'm about to, use what I got and put a little plastic Ziploc on it, because when I put it in my freezer, I do not want anything. I don't know. I don't want anything to contaminate it. So this is the way I keep it good. If you've got a bowl, this is a very small batch, guys, by the way. It's a very small batch, okay? Nowadays, I double it, if not 4 times as much, because I like to get it out. I like to make a batch and not have to worry about it for a while. Woo, that freezer worked fast, y'all. Let me tell you. So I'm sorry I don't know how to get the camera angle very well. I'm not an expert editor. I'm an expert formulator. I do the best that I can. So I'm sorry you guys don't get to watch the product porn of seeing it break up and do all this special stuff. Now, I put this in the freezer for 30 to 45 minutes, just enough to give it a crunchy outside, but still have a kind of semi-liquid center, which it did, and it comes together beautifully, right? And I think at some point I noticed that although I'm mixing like this, that there is some deep golden yellow at the bottom. So I'm probably trying to mix all that in. I don't know what that was. I must have had a kid screaming or something. I don't know. Yeah, you can kind of see on the sides where it's not all blended in yet. So, and at some point I realized, hey, they probably can't even see what's happening in this cup. But I'm just blending my life away, trying to make sure that all of the turmeric goodness is blended into the butter. But look at that color, though, y'all. Like, look at the color. I hopefully I injected that on purpose. I feel like I didn't, but maybe I did. Now, I know it looks super stiff right now. But that's because it's still cold. I'm telling you, the moment it gets room temperature and you touch it, it's gonna falter. Okay. I like to use this in scrub for a reason, but I do know, again, if I wanted it to be stiffer, I could just add cocoa butter or a harder butter as a substitute. You can sub out everything in this recipe, including the sweet almond oil for oil that you want. You can customize this. This is completely customizable. I promise it absolutely is. The only part that cannot be subbed out is turmeric and the turmeric oil, obviously, because it's a turmeric butter. Now, this would be really great to combine with, like, in the South, or it's an additive to a butter that may help with fading and hyperpigmentation. That's what it's for. If you decide you want to use this as a butter by itself, I strongly suggest that you add waxes and a harder butter because it does melt on contact. As we get to the very end of this video, you'll watch me pipe. And then we're going to see what happens when we get too much 98.6 body temp on this butter and how it begins to liquefy. Okay. Again, this was not created to be a standalone body butter. It was created to be an additive to butters and salves. So here we go. I'm piping, right? It looks pretty nice, pretty stiff and fluffy. But where my hand is, all of that I'm doing with that bag at the top, it's just getting warmer and warmer and warmer. And you're about to watch what happens after I run my hand over it too many times. It turns into liquid, which is completely fine for what I'm using it for. But it might not be fine if you decide to use it a different way. See it? Watch it? I had to realize that I was, rubbing my hands over it too much, warming it up. So there's the turmeric butter, guys. Hope you enjoy this tutorial. It's the first one for Soft Skin Studios. I'm super excited to share this with you guys. Goodbye.